I'm going to show you how simple it is to make your own pizza at home, and it takes less time than it would to ring out for one. So I'm going to start with some strong bread flour, and I've got it in my bowl ready. To that I'm going to add some dried yeast. This is easy blend yeast that you just stir into the flour. You haven't got to do anything special to it beforehand. Then I'm going to make a little well in the middle, and all that means is to make a dip in the flour like that. We're going to tip in some nice lukewarm water, which means that's going to help the yeast to work more quickly. That goes in. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil, and then I'm going to quickly mix the whole thing together until it forms a sort of rough dough in the bowl. So you want to move quite quickly so you don't want to get some very wet patches or very dry patches. It doesn't look like much at the moment. This is going to turn into a beautiful silky bread dough. Right, that's ready to come out onto the surface for a bit of a knead. You need to flour your surface ever so slightly, and then just bring the dough together with your hands. I tend to use a rolling and kind of squishing motion when I knead. Add a bit more flour, it feels like it might stick. And just keep pressing and rolling for about 5 minutes until dough becomes really lovely and smooth. And I'm going to show you what you're looking for at that stage now. So here's the dough that I made a little bit earlier on, and it was kneaded for about 5 minutes, and you can see that's lovely and smooth. I'm just going to give it a quick knead, and I'm going to shape it now. Now the beauty of making a pizza and making your own bread for the pizza is it hasn't got to rise. It's really, really quick. So it's ready to roll out. Again, flour your surface. Let's make some room. I'm going to put a bit of flour on top as well to stop my rolling pin from sticking. I'm going to punch it out slightly and then start to roll. You need to be quite firm with the rolling pin because it likes to spring back. Once you've reached about that size, so it's about what, a 9-inch sized pizza, you get this a little bit thinner. That's a good size. The dough is really nice and thin. I'm just going to shape the edges, and if you want to, you can squish around the edge to make a lip, although it's not essential. Okay, that's ready to put on the baking sheet. So I'll just pull the baking sheet in. You want to dust it with a little bit of flour before you put the dough on. If your bread is starting to shrink back again, you can just give it a bit of a press. It's quite hardy, you can do whatever you like to it really. Okay, now we're ready for topping. And I've got some passata here, which is Italian tomato sauce, mixed with some crushed garlic and some basil. I'm going to spread that over with the back of my spoon. You don't need too much, you don't want to weigh the bread down. Gorgeous, okay. And on top of that, I'm going to scatter some mozzarella. I've just sliced this into fairly thin slices. There we go. Some cherry tomatoes if you like. Just a handful. Again, you don't want to overload your pizza, otherwise it won't cook properly. And then some Parmesan cheese. It's nearly ready to go into the oven. I'm going to add one final thing, which is a drizzle of olive oil. Just to help everything melt together a bit more easily in the oven. Some salt and pepper for seasoning. And then that's ready to go into the oven. I've got one in the oven already. Let's see how that's turned out. Great, and I hope you can see in the oven then I've got a tray upturned. That helps the heat come through the base of the pizza. That was put in earlier on. So, pizza is ready, apart from one final thing. I'm going to add some leaves of basil to decorate. And if you like, a little more olive oil to finish. I think that's delicious, and that's how easy it is to make your own pizza at home.